Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Appreciate it. This is our weekly podcast for pajama coffee. No, oh my God, pajamas and coffee society.
There you go.
Finally got it out. So we appreciate you joining us today. Today we have Joslyn. So thank you for joining us, Joslyn. She was featured on the Wednesday Spotlight. So we got to see a little bit of her background. But today she's going to get in a little bit more detail with us. So looking forward to talking to you.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I'm really grateful for the opportunity to just have a good conversation as girls and, talk business, talk life, talk big dreams, and so forth. I'm really
Yes.
grateful and happy to be here.
Well, we're very, very excited to talk to you. I have the inside advantage of knowing Jocelyn a bit more than Lee does, but we decided we wanted to have her on you on the podcast because of the fact that I know how much that I have taken away from our conversations, and you're just a joy and a light and just absolutely a breath of fresh air every time we talk. So that's why I wanted to share you with the world. So selfishly, this was all for me because then that way I get to show that we knew who you were before you were, a big thing, as in like, signing books and getting ready for your like fifth world tour, whatever it may be, because I see it all. So we wanted to say that we got to be there at the beginning. So welcome. Thank you so much. And we wanted to talk to you about the whole benefit to this group is obviously networking, and Pj&C is meant to be shared for cheerleading and positive parts of us being entrepreneurs and females. However, there's a lot that goes on in our daily life that we have to balance out with entrepreneurship. And so the biggest aspect we like to talk about is the mental aspect, because the mental aspect is really the difficult part.
Mhm.
And I was going to say, we're all sitting here going, yes, because every one of us, it's like clockwork, and nobody can tell you this, that it's like you're on that runner's high, and then reality kind of sets in, and then it's like, I've got all of this to do, and how am I going to get there? So we wanted to talk about that a little bit. And the last time we asked somebody this, I hesitated with the words imposter syndrome, and I'll explain why. I hate the words imposter syndrome. I hate that term. I know it. I accept it. I know it exists and we all deal with it. But it's almost like I hate to name it because then it has a real power. So
Mhm.
where we say imposter syndrome, I like to talk about how do we deal with the feelings of being new beginner entrepreneurs versus imposter syndrome. Because to me, what we think is imposter syndrome is just being a beginner. So what have you done personally within your business and your own journey to deal with that?
I think one of the biggest things that I've done to kind of help myself overcome that is like reflecting on what I've done for the people that I've worked with and like checking in with them
Mhm.
and seeing like how's progress, how are things going, and hearing them tell me like because of you, like you set me up for success. It's impossible for me to not go out there and get it.
Yes.
And I think that like recalling on those client wins and those testimonials really helps so much to kind of soothe those thoughts. And I still definitely deal with it even aside from that, but like remembering the accolades, remembering the accomplishments, and really reflecting on that on a deep level has helped remind me, you know what, I actually know what the fuck I'm doing. I know
Yes.
what I'm talking about. Why am I sitting here telling myself a different story? Like if that internal dialogue is so negative sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
So reflecting on that is huge. And I encourage that for anybody.
I think that is a perfect answer for the fact that if you think about it in terms of I already accomplished this, therefore I can do bigger.
Mm-hmm.
I've challenged myself, stepped outside of my comfort zone. So now what's next? And I completely agree with you because it's like once you do anything a couple of times, it's the starting gate that's generally the most difficult. This is a perfect example, this forum of doing a podcast or being on a live or things like that. That the first time you hit record, it's terrifying for any of us. And only with time and practice, it becomes normalized as a normal part of our resume. And then it's like, well, if I can do that, what can I do? I could do anything. Like it's not as difficult. So what are some of the systems and procedures you've put in place in order to assist you besides that mental or the positive self-talk? But what else are you doing to put that in place to keep yourself from derailing in the future then?
Repetition,
Okay.
repetition, repetition, repetition. I mean, I remember when I played college basketball, like we would be told to go into the gym to shoot 1,000 shots, not just shooting, making 1,000 shots.
Mm.
So going back and maybe doing something over again, or, making sure that I'm actually like journaling, right? Planning out the day
Mhm.
ahead of time and doing it the night before and doing that repeatedly every single day. That helps so much with the derailment,
Mhm.
because you can go into the next day like with confidence and conviction. And I recommend that for anybody, and just being prepared for what's to come. And that
Yes.
helped me a lot with mindset, because I mean, I used to not do that. And I would wake up like every morning, like, okay, what the hell do I need to do today?
Mhm.
And then that creates more dissonance within yourself. And then you get into like freeze mode, that
Yes.
like creative block where you're like, okay, I'm being pulled this way, this way, this way.
Yes.
So planning the day ahead is really what helps me a lot with like not falling apart inside.
I actually started on top of doing that every evening. I do Sunday evenings before I go to bed. One of the last things, and again, it's not for me to be actively thinking about work, but it's for me to be mentally prepared. On Sunday nights, I have to review my week.
Mhm.
So that if I don't do that, I feel incredibly untethered on Mondays. So that has become a standard practice for me as well. It's that and color coding. I know it sounds completely silly. Lee knows my color coding by now. That I have to do that now because then I can keep track of what goes where. So the point is the system's individual for each person, but you have to have a system.
Mhm. Mhm.
Lee, is there
Color
any?
coding can be fun though.
Yes, well, yes, and I just actually announced the other day when I rearranged the entire pantry that I need a label maker. And the answer I received was, "Well, about time. I've been waiting for you to ask for one." So,
like
not that I
like Khloe Kardashian, she's so crazy about organization.
yeah, if I had the extra help within my household the way other people do, I just don't have that. I probably would be even worse. It probably would be quite difficult to be around, but that's okay. I have my system. We all do, but that's again, I believe the more mature we get in being entrepreneurs, our personal life needs to be even more
Mhm.
strategic. Like one of the things I actually, Jocelyn, and I don't think Lee, you've heard this, but when I went back to school for my entrepreneurial MBA program, the first class that is in that whole system, he sits down and he's like, listen, we're going to clean up our personal lives first before we even start into this whole class system. And I appreciate it. One of his suggestions from day one was write down all the things you do in your day and your week. Now, how many of those things, if money was unlimited, would you be able to hand off to somebody else immediately? Like, what would you hand off? Groceries delivered versus going grocery shopping, anything you can think of, because it's not to be unbalanced in our time as entrepreneurs, but it's actually create a little bit more time for balance and free time with your family, because this can consume you,
Mhm.
as we all know.
Yeah, yeah,
Yes.
I couldn't agree more.
Yes, and we all have seasons of extra busy. I know, Jocelyn, you are going into one right now, so it's going to be even a little more hectic for the next little bit, considering you have a very big goal, which we're going to talk about too, is what you're going to be doing soon. If are you ready to talk about it?
Oh yes.
Okay, cool. Okay, I wanted to make sure before I announced anything I wasn't supposed to. So first and foremost, about your business, who is your ideal client? Who are you trying to reach? Who would be the right person to work with your company?
So our agency as a whole, right? So there's 3 partners and so forth. As an agency as a whole, we target high ticket coaches, consultants. We work with SaaS companies, service providers, manufacturers. But for me personally, my role and what I'm doing, I'm very niched down. And I love to work with the high ticket coaches and consultants, especially the coaching.
Yes.
Personal development, life coaching, fitness, right? Those are things that are really big pillars in my life.
Mm-hmm.
And that resonates for me because I'm a storyteller. I'm a writer. I've been writing in journals since I was 5 years old,
Oh, wow.
constantly telling stories.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to help those individuals to really put themselves out there in the way that resonates with them and connects them with their audience and building that deeper connection. So the people that I'm trying to reach are those individuals, right? So if you're in the online space as a coach and you're really looking to build your brand and make sure that you're representing yourself in the right way, like come to me. I'm here to help you. Even if you decide that it's not a mutual fit, I want to at least be able to give you a roadmap, a framework for you to be able to implement yourself.
Yes. And you never know. Joslyn, you and I are a perfect example. We have similarities to Grit and King and Novus, but at the same time, we're very different. That doesn't mean that we can't work together, and that doesn't mean that we wouldn't help each other. And so this is a perfect example. Our conversation right here about why PG. See, you started it. Pajamas and coffee. Like, my goodness.
Thank you. Because I felt bad for not being able to say it.
Totally blame
We're all little dyslexic sometimes.
Man, I did have coffee this morning, but that's why we did this, was because, again, this conversation right here is the exact reason why this was possible and why it's necessary for all of us to be able to help each other. And again, I don't believe in competition because it goes back to, again, coming from the background that I took a break in marketing, was a hairstylist for many years. I could have given a client the exact same haircut as the next stylist. But if that person wanted to be super quiet and I talked their ear off that day, they may not come back to me. There's other factors involved to make a company or an individual the right fit for a business partner. And so that's why I always believe in having that collective, like we always talk about within our company, of people that we can refer, people we can work with, and people that we can trust to work with too. Because I want people around us always that are trustworthy, that we respect, to send business to them and say, we know this company, this individual will take care of you, and I don't have to think about it again. So that's the beauty of this group, and that's what we're trying to do. So if we talk about that's your ideal client, what would be the right time for them to come to you? So let me explain why I'm asking that. It's one thing to say we're an agency. It's one thing to say we can build your brand, but what would be the right strategic place for them to say, now's the day, today's the day, I need to talk to Joslyn. Like this is it. Like, my company's at this point, I'm trying to accomplish this.
Yeah, I would say some of the biggest pain points that we see is opportunity. You're having a difficult time creating opportunity, right? You're
Yes.
having a hard time staying consistent, right? And really putting the right messaging across. So if you're in a place where also things are disorganized and you're
Yes.
having to do things manually. So if you're in that place where you're just like, oh, I'm burnt the hell out.
Yes.
And I want to build a funnel, but I don't know how. I want to do this and I don't know how. And I'm ready and I'm willing to invest and be led and guided. That's the perfect time to come forward to me.
So would I be accurate by describing what you do more than just a digital agency? I would say you're also a great PR person for them.
Yeah, we're going to get into it in a couple minutes on my passion project.
Yes, I'm so excited.
But I care so much about the experience that clients have with me.
Yes.
That sure, like I can build a done for you system. That's all great and dandy. But what about the mindset behind having to learn a new sales script or having to put yourself on camera? And that like valley of despair that you might find yourself in when you're trying to build your calendar.
Yes.
Really work with you and acknowledge those pain points, those hardships, And then I sit there and say, well, like, what the fuck are we going to do about it in like a really nice way?
Yeah.
So I'm really there to listen and kind of be that mentor. And even if maybe you're having a difficult time putting yourself out there, I will set aside the time and put myself out there with you. Maybe we spend an hour to do messages, sending out messages together.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's
That's
a full on experience. I just want to be able to create such a strong ripple effect. That's what I want. I want them to walk away saying, wow, today's call with Joslyn made me just skyrocket with ideas and confidence. And like, I can get through this now.
So, okay, I'm going to keep adding to the title. So, agency, PR, coach of the coaches, hype man, cheerleader, shoulder to cry on. Stop me when I've run out. We're good.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Like one of my clients, he tells me, I love you after we end calls.
Aw, isn't it sweet?
Yes. He just appreciates me so much.
That's
And I listen to him like a friend, because it's like the technical stuff can be a little grueling sometimes.
And overwhelming.
Kind of remove like that overwhelming feeling
Yeah.
of things and try to make it like warm and lighthearted and yeah.
Well, I appreciate it too, because I believe the digital side of our business industry, what we work in, our area, is quite male dominated,
Mm-hmm.
and it can be quite logical, and the emotion and the context of creativity and connection can be lost.
Mm-hmm.
And especially again in social media and somebody trying to grow their presence, a lot of times they just don't even know how to jump off. They don't know where to start or how to create it. So somebody like yourself, or what we try to do, same thing, that we try to bring that creativity and that safe space at all at the same time, because there's enough guys around the digital space. Thank you. But it's okay if the girls get out here a little stronger. We're a little bit more like, no, 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 no. With us, you get the technical
Mm-hmm.
and you get the creative.
Right.
And we'll sit there and listen to you too.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. You get like the emotional support on top of it. I mean, us as women, we're naturally nurturers.
Yes. Yes. And again, it doesn't matter if it's through a Zoom meeting or a phone call or an email. To me, the quality is the quality when it comes to being present for your clients and listening. So I appreciate that so much, that Novus, your company, is doing a great job of putting that first for its clients. Well, that does help us understand, because I do believe that, again, too, back to the point of our industry, the digital industry, it's easy for people from the outside to look and say, okay, they're all agencies. Not at all. Each of them do something different. Each of them brings something different to the table. And that is the great part, and also the difficult part for our ideal clients to find us through the entire pool of what's out there. So I do believe that that's really great, and we should continue to have those conversations too. So would you like to talk a little bit about what's coming up with my last two questions for you? And then you can expand. And Lee too, if you want to jump in anytime, please do.
I will.
Okay. All right. So I want to know, okay, so what are you the most proud of so far? What's the big thing that you've accomplished to date within your career, your path as an entrepreneur?
Oh gosh, I could cry real tears. I wouldn't say it's I'm 11 months sober.
Congratulations.
Oh, congratulations.
I'm 11 months sober. Like, I went and I changed the narrative in my life. I was addicted to drinking and drugs, and I wouldn't say like addicted, but I was definitely a people pleaser. I was addicted to that. I didn't know what I was really doing with my life. And so, last year I spent most of the year being depressed and feeling like, oh, I'm meant for more in life. What am I doing? So I went into January 1, and it was an impulse decision. I went on a New Year's Eve, was a lot of drinking and a lot of things, and I felt terrible. And I looked at myself in the mirror and I just was like, no more, like, you're done. And I that journey, like just a couple of days after, I felt so clear. And then, December, I had spent most of the month looking at different opportunities to start my entrepreneurial journey. And so then I found a mentorship program. I found a course that really dives super deep into the digital marketing space and teaching you so much. And for the cost that it was, it definitely should have been like quadruple the price because it was so much value.
Yes.
So I would say that the not drinking and the sobriety has been the biggest accomplishment because it's allowed me to like think really, really clear and to be able to stay focused. And now I'm able to discern if I feel off, it's not because maybe I have alcohol from 3 days ago in my system, right? I'm able to actually say, you know what, I'm human and like I'm off because I'm really going through something.
Yeah.
So that's been like the biggest accomplishment. And I so badly want to help individuals walk through that like I did, but with somebody by their side.
So that leads me to what is the biggest goal for your future? And I know you've been waiting for this question this entire time. So the floor is yours. What's going on?
I'm very, very spiritual. I've grown up very sensitive to the spirit world. And when I was 7 years old, I lost my mom to breast cancer. She was my Puerto Rican queen, my mentor, my first teacher. She's the reason I have a relationship with God. She was the most God-fearing, loving, beautiful, stunning, just amazing woman. And we were very close, and losing her, it sucked, but she always promised that she would be with me. And she's guided me all these years. And my family knows, everybody knows. I'd be like, oh, mom came forward. She told me this. I got a message. And I can feel her working through me and pulling me closer to God. And so this last year and even this year, when I started this journey, I wanted to start working with coaches. And now I'm like really immersed in the coaching industry, and I'm speaking with all these different individuals, and it's starting to build like that planting that seed in my mind. So I've been talking about it for quite a little bit of time. Actually, a couple of months ago, I took on like my patient zero, a friend of mine, helping her to overcome addiction and to really get on the right path, and helping her find a job and helping her with her resume and all of these different things. And I was like, okay, like this is what I really want to do. Just don't know when, etc. And thank you, Marisa, you asked me that question, what is your passion project? And you're like, I want you to think about it. Don't answer that question right now. And so I really kept thinking about that. And so on December 1st, I decided, oh my gosh, it's going to be 1 month away until my 1-year anniversary of no drinking. This is the most perfect time to launch my life coaching business as an empath on the 1st. I want to work with individuals maybe from like 21 to 30, 35, the mentally inflicted, the traumatized, the addicted. I want to help them really understand who they are to the core, why they've been doing what they're doing, and separate themselves from that, and to be able to walk them through a real guided ego death experience where they completely separate themselves from what they've been doing and stop associating with those things, and then creating a game plan, an actionable game plan, and moving forward and committing to their dreams, and that they're not delusional if they want to go live in Dubai or they want to go start a retreat in Africa. And even within that, right, being able to support them on that journey, and then say they want to start a business, I can then help them with that.
I cannot wait to see it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so it'll be called Joslyn Creates Coaching.
I love it.
There you go.
Lee, I have the privilege of getting a text about this last night as
really?
warning of, I know what I'm doing. I was so excited when I got that text. So you have our support, and
definitely.
Yes, if there's anything we can do to support you. One of the things that we request is probably in about a month, just as you're releasing it, we'd love to have you back so you can talk about it further. And then we've been making a deal with every person that comes on here that we need you to set this on the date 1 year from today, because we want to talk to you again. You'll be going into year 2 at that point. And the thing is that we say this all the time, that at least in our entrepreneurial journeys, that where you start out with and the idea, it doesn't become bigger, it quadruples, and then again, and then again. And so we want to know, we want to hear your progress at 1 year from today, how much bigger that vision is from even today. So that's the only thing that we request, is that we get a continual update. And we want to make sure that people inside of Pajamas and Coffee understand that they have the ability to network with you. You want to network with them. You are a master networker, by the way, if Lee doesn't already know this about you. That Joslyn is awesome. Awesome. One of her superpowers is just making friends with people. I'm not kidding you. She has this hidden talent where she just is like, I'm going to be your friend. There. Like, it's as simple as that. Joslyn, I don't know if you've ever thought about it like that, but you do. You're like, that's the person. I'm going to know them.
Well, yeah, I definitely, I've always been a big bundle of light, and I know that I'm meant to like be that light for people. And I work in the hospitality industry, right? I bartend on the weekends.
Yeah, okay.
I have just a wildly large support group from my regulars. And they always tell me, they're like, we've never met a bartender like you before. I mean, I dance with them. I have fun with them. They're like my actual friends.
Yeah.
I mean, and I tell them all the time, I'm like, I love you guys. You help pay my bills. Like, you know what I mean? But I'm just so open, and I want people to be in my presence, and I want them to just feel love.
Yes.
Right? Because I think a lot of people miss out on feeling that in life.
Yeah.
Or they don't get enough of it.
Yes.
So just giving that love. And sometimes I don't always, like, my cup isn't always full. Like, sometimes I'm drained. And I'll tell them, like, hey guys, I'm really off today, so don't expect me to be all wild and fun like I normally am. And they respect that.
Yes.
But I'm still loving.
But you also show up so hard on the other days that when you are at a level that we consider is too low, which is honestly higher than what most people give, you're not giving yourself as much credit as you should, because I guarantee, knowing you as I do, that if you think you're not giving enough, I guarantee it's still more than what most people give. And you show up hard every day. Every time I've talked to you, it is 100%. And you are on, ready, smiling. So I'm sorry. I don't think you less than is less than.
I appreciate that. So
You're welcome. You're welcome.
That's what I do to my regulars. I have a lot of regulars from Asian countries. I love you.
Aw. Well, love you too. I'm just so grateful and blessed that she did it to me, Lee. It's like, we're talking. This is going to happen. So I went, okay. And in fact, the first time I had met Joslyn was the day that we found that puppy randomly, Lee, that was.
Oh, really?
Yeah, was in the park. By the way, I didn't update Joslyn on that. He did make it home to his family.
Good.
We're very happy about that. And in fact, here in Texas, they actually, the animal services have officers that will come to you to pick up lost puppies. And the officer that came, she's like, thank you so much for taking care of him. I almost started crying. I'm like, just take care of him too. Like, I just want to make sure he was okay. But we were very happy to say that he did make it home. And so we said we did a very good deed as a family that day. So we did something nice for our family.
I'm sure, maybe.
Yeah, we were just happy he made it home. That was all that mattered. But that was like, I was in the middle of that chaos. And then I sit down to apologize. So I'm like, hi, I'm a little bit like out of sorts right now. Please bear with me. So I appreciate it.
And I was like, don't even worry about it. It's okay.
I appreciate it. So then we ended up talking for 2 hours. I think there was a couple tears on both sides. So it all works out.
Yeah.
Works out.
That's
So
awesome.
Lee, did you have any questions for her besides social media, things like that?
Just, you talked about your passion project. Is there anything else that we are looking forward to from you, or is that your goal for now, for 2024, 2023, end of into 2024?
Yeah, that's really like my focus right now. These next 4 weeks is building out the system,
Yes.
right? Like what I provide for my clients, I'm doing for myself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Isn't it interesting when you do that?
Oh,
It-
I'm really glad. I'm really
Yeah.
glad I got into this space because now it's like thousands of dollars worth, transparently of work that I have to do and automations and
Yes.
copywriting, etc. and designing. I'm giving
Mhm.
to myself for free. And now I can go and like create as many businesses as I want, honestly.
We talk about that all the time, that the skill set that we have, we can apply it to any industry, any business.
Mhm.
But if I don't know if you ever thought about this, Jocelyn, but like the type of services that you provide or that we provide, we actually put a price tag one time on it of about $150,000 worth of services for year one for a business to align with us. And I know you do as well.
Mhm.
That is a huge education that we own. It's like the golden ticket because we can apply it to any business, anytime for ourselves as well.
Mhm.
And it does make it easy to like think of new ideas. That is the bad side. Like I can come up with a new idea every week, but we have to not chase rabbits, as our coach tells us, and stay on course. But you will look up, like I said, in 6 months to a year and be like, okay, I had this idea December 1st, and look where it is at now. And it's like July, August, and I'm so busy I can't think. That's exactly what we want to hear back from you.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, it's gonna be good. I started my workspace. I mean, I have like my business plan with my business expenses, my revenue goals, and within that, like how many clients I need to be closing. Like I'm mapping out everything, and I'm so excited. I'm even going to Miami next week to shoot a bunch of content because I'm a tropical girl. I love the ocean, and that's going to be a big part of my brand. If you were to look at my Instagram, it's a lot from my past travels. So I'm just taking hella action, and I'm really excited because I know that this is God's calling for me. And I know that the abundance that I'm craving, right? The abundance of I feel the happiest, right? Like feeling free or helping individuals. And like, that's just, I'm really looking forward to that. And I think it's all going to come into fruition in a way that I've never even possibly could have ever imagined.
Yeah.
And I'm ready. I'm ready to show up every single day.
That's
Totally
awesome.
agree.
Yeah. So if anyone wants to follow you on Instagram or Facebook, you mind sharing that information with them?
Yeah. So my Instagram is, do I just drop it here in the chat? What do I do?
Yes. That'd be great.
Okay. So here is my Instagram. I post every single day, maybe only 6 days a week. Sometimes I take Sundays off just to kind of reflect, but I pretty much post every single day, offering tips around digital marketing. But most of my content, I would say, is inspirational and about mindset. And so you get a lot of that. I'm very, very genuine. I'm very, very real in my content. And there's a lot of storytelling to be told. And so just be prepared for a lot of authenticity there.
Awesome. Love it.
And do you like to give out your LinkedIn as well?
Oh, yeah, of course. So just look me out here. Let me.
And again, too, while you're doing that, don't forget as well that you can also locate Joslyn through Pj&C. That if you want to connect with her through the group. And also, we encourage everybody to do exactly like what we've been doing, is networking through and meeting people through it. So I know firsthand Joslyn is an awesome networker. So she's definitely somebody that you want to have in your group of connections. That is for sure.
Yes, of course. I always love to connect with new people. I think that that's really important, right? Merging forces together, even if you just, need some advice or just a person to like talk to.
Mhm.
Right.
I'm here for that.
I agree. I agree. Well, Jocelyn, first of all, thank you for sharing your time. I always
Yeah.
try to remember
Thank you.
thank you for your time, because time is very, very precious as entrepreneurs, and Sundays are also Tuesdays in this lifestyle. So we appreciate you taking some time with us. We do want to update, obviously, as you kick this off, but 1 year from today, you're on the schedule to talk to us again for sure. And we will, as a group, want to support you and to see where your journey takes you, and invite you to be a regular with us as much as you'd like to. And the other things I like to always remind everybody is, we do the spotlight on Wednesdays. Our podcast episodes come out on Tuesday. We try to do it the spotlight and then follow up with the podcast episode. But in the upcoming weeks, we are going to be asking Jocelyn, and we're going to arrange it to have her join us on our Friday Lives as a roundtable discussion more about being an entrepreneur, female, and a topic that we will be picking, kind of like what we've done on a couple of them so far. And so, like last Friday, we talked about the difference about working inside and working on your business. And so, we like to have these discussions because we like to think about the things that are really kind of like not discussed as entrepreneurs, that you will encounter. But it's really like, okay, build a business. Okay, how? And then, but how do I keep my mental state in this too? So we want to talk about those things again, because we balance out being partners in life and wives or whatever is appropriate, or mother, or laundry doer in the house. And those things add up too, on top of us doing all these things. So I don't know about you guys, but like minutes before we were recording, I had to flip laundry. So you never know. And I will end also with this thing before we go, because we're a little bit long, that we didn't start off by saying that this is three Chicago girls hanging out here today. So
Oh,
Oh my gosh, yeah.
yeah, all three of us are Chicago girls. And I'm going to go on record for all of us and say that I don't understand why people from like Texas do not understand that we flip our laundry. Did you know that's a regional term?
Really?
Yeah. I I was so shocked the first time, and like my boyfriend made a really big deal about it. He's like, "You flip your laundry?" I'm like, "What do you do? You take it from the washer to dryer?" And he's like, I'm like, "No, no, no, no. You flip it. Go flip the laundry." So just so you know, it's a Chicago thing. I found that interesting. So anytime we get on here, we're gonna have to find some more interesting.
all right.
Most people don't know. That was just one of like my shocks that like, doesn't everybody say that? No, that's a Chicago thing. So we understand each other right here. That's all.
Yes.
I love that.
Yes.
Synergy, lots of synergy.
Yes. So Jocelyn, thank you so much. And
Yes,
we
thank
look
you.
forward to having you back with us again very soon. And
Yes.
I encourage everybody inside of the group to connect with Jocelyn as much as possible, because she will always, always bring light and love to your life every time you talk to her. There is no doubt. And then Lee, do you want to finish off?
Yes. So, as we say, if we can do it, you can do it. So please do. This will be posted on Tuesday. If you want, yes, Tuesday. And if you can't watch it at live, then please catch it on the replay. Mondays, it is me talking to you. And then on Wednesdays, Marisa, Missy, as I like to call her, will be talking to you. And then it's us again on Friday. So thank you so much for joining us. You all have a great day. Bye bye.